Let's talk about a very well-known acronym when it comes to the SIE exam. This acronym, for many of you who've probably already seen it, is known as SLoBS and BLiSS. In this video, we're going to give you a very little snippet of how to approach SLoBS and BLiSS, specifically with limit orders. For a little more detail on any more of this stuff, either check out our video course or reach out at jim@professionalexamtutoring.com.
This part of the lesson is going to focus on limit orders. So let's take a look at how a cell limit order works. Okay, so with a cell limit order, the first thing you're probably going to be starting off with is the purchase of some shares. So you buy stock at $18. Now let's imagine that this stock goes up, goes down, goes up, and then it just keeps going up and up. Now at this point, you may, as an investor, decide that you want to make sure that you get out before this stock turns. So what you want to do is you want to set a sell order so that it sells before this thing turns and starts coming back down. So here you sell limit 100 shares of ABC stock at $20 per share. So at $20 per share, your order is set. Now for a limit order, the keyword that we're going to want to know for limit orders is or better. So all limit orders will be sold or bought at a specific price or better. Now when this comes, when or better relates to a sell order, if you're going to sell a stock, would you rather sell at a higher price or lower price? That's what you want to ask yourself. So or better would mean selling at a higher price, because anytime you want to sell anything, whether it's your car, a stock, or whatever, you want to sell at the highest price possible. So a sell limit order means that you're going to sell at $20 or better, which means $20 or above. So here we see the prices that come along during this trading day. We see at 9:43 a.m. it's 1920, 9:44 it's 1980, 9:45 it's 2010, etc., etc. Now the limit order is going to be set at $20 here, and remember it's $20 or better. And so we look to this row of prices here, and we see that if it's going to execute at $20 or better, it's going to be $20 or higher. And the one thing that we should point out here as well, which is different than stop orders, is that there's no trigger first. It's just going to execute as soon as it hits the price you specify or better. So if this was 1980 and then 20, it would just sell at 20. But because it goes from 1980 to 2010, 2010 represents a price that's better than 20. So we want to execute at $20 or better. So 2010 is going to be where it executes. Now remember, the key word for limit orders is or better. And when you're trying to figure out the direction of limit orders, you want to go back again to the SLoBS over BLiSS acronym. So in this case, SLoBS is sell limit or buy stop. And of course, this isn't a stop order, this is a limit order. And we see the sell limit order matches up here. So because it's SLoBS over BLiSS, also remember that because it's on top, the SLoBS is over the BLiSS. It also tells us what direction the stock price should be heading, and the stock price should be heading in the upward direction. Okay, let's take a look at a few examples of sell limits. Okay, Mrs. Stock Lady places an order to sell 100 TUV at $46. Her broker takes the order and watches the tape, which shows the following subsequent prices: $45.55, $45.90, $46.30, $45.90, $46.50, $46.75. At what price is the order executed? Okay, so remember from what we just talked about in the last slide that for a sell limit order, the key word is or better. So whatever we're setting our order at, it's got to be that price or better. We set the price at $46. One other important thing to keep track of here is that when they say in questions that you're going to sell 100 TUV at 46, if this is the order that you set, if there's no stop anywhere to be found in this sentence, that's implying that it's going to be a limit order. So the only way that this would be a stop order, they would have to say it. So if it doesn't say it's a stop order, then when they say they're setting an order, that's by definition going to be a limit order. Okay, so just remember that. No stop order, then it's not going to be or no stop in the sentence, it's not going to be a stop order. Okay, so because it's got to be 46 or better, we know it's got to be 46 or higher because it's a sell, and we want to sell things as high as possible. So we go back down to the prices. We see it goes from 45 to 45.90 and then 46.30. 46.30 is better than 46, and it's definitely gone above 46. So this would be where we execute. So 46.30 is going to be the execution price. Okay, let's take a look at the next question. If the share price declines, which of the following orders would not be placed? Okay, so this is one of those double negatives where you want to know which one should you be looking at. The best way to do negative type of sentences or questions on the exam is to just eliminate the actual negative from the question. So let's reread this as, if the share price declines, which of the following orders would be placed? So if the share price declines, which one would be placed? Well, if the share price declines, we know that it's got to be the BLiSS, right? Because SLoBS over BLiSS, BLiSS is on the bottom. It means that the price has to be heading downward. And for BLiSS, then it's going to be buy limit or sell stop. So because that's going to be the price declining, we know it can't be those two. And since it can't be those two, we eliminate B and C, and now we break it down to A and D. And now one thing you'll notice is that for a market order can really be placed in any type of market, whether the share prices are increasing or decreasing. So this is another one where it actually could be placed whether the market's declining or increasing. So just by the sake of elimination, we've eliminated B, C, and D. And sell limit order is the type of order that would not be placed when the market is declining. And to really know that and hammer that one home, we can just go back to the SLoBS over BLiSS. Now remember, SLoBS is over BLiSS. SLoBS on top means that the share price should be rising, not declining. And that ends up being our answer. Okay, so let's take a look at the last example here. After doubling her money in a high-tech stock, Heather is looking to sell. However, she wants to get a little more out of the stock and sets an order to sell if it rises higher from its current price. She could set a sell limit order slightly above the current price to meet her objective. True or false? So again, this one is focusing in on the direction of where the prices should be going. So she bought this stock. It looks like she's done rather well in it. However, she wants to get a little more out of the stock, which kind of implies that she wants it to keep going higher. So if she wants, and it even says here too, she sets an order to sell if it rises higher from its current price. So if she's setting an order above the current price, that means above the market price. And if we go back to the SLoBS over BLiSS acronyms, we remember that SLoBS are over the market price. So it's got to be a sell limit or a buy stop. And we see here she could set a sell limit order slightly above the current market price, and that would be true. Okay, so moving on to buy limit orders. Now let's take a look visually as to how buy limit orders work. Now for a buy limit order, you've started out by selling short a stock, and perhaps it's gone down, then goes back up, then goes down, and then continues going down. So this is a good thing for you. Now, when you sell short the stock at 25 and it keeps going down, you may want to preserve the gain that you have, and you don't want to risk it turning around, as we see in some of the stop examples that we had previously. But in this case, if you want to preserve it from turning and going back up, because that would not be good for a short position, you set a buy limit order at $20. That's going to get you out of your short position. And because it's a buy limit order, remember the key word for limit orders is or better. So by or better, we mean that it's got to be $20 or better. And since it's a buy order, when you're buying something, or better means that you want to buy it for cheaper. So if you're buying anything, you'd rather buy it for a lower price. So it's going to be $20 or lower, in other words. So in this case, we see the time frame. Again, the stocks are trading at different prices every minute. So at 9:43, it's 21.50. 9:44, it's 28.20. 9:45, it's 20. 9:46, it's 19.90. 9:47, it's 18.75. So we know that because there's no trigger involved with limit orders, it's just going to execute at the specific price or better. It's going to execute at $20 or better. In this case, it hits $20 on the dot, so that's going to be where it executes. And just a reminder, the keyword here is or better for limit orders. And when we're talking about a buy limit, we're talking about the BLiSS part of the acronym. So BLiSS being below the market price, which indicates that the stock price should be going down, which is also consistent with what you see here, going down from 21.50 all the way down to 18.75.